Good morning, Keitha. Well, tonight there's a panel discussion here at Art See and Shop, and then on Thursday they are opening up their exhibit celebrating Asian artists. Then on Saturday you can go over to UNF to hear from a panel of 12 different community group leaders and city council members. They'll be talking about how to stop Asian hate, but also, like this art, how to celebrate Asian culture in our community.
I wanted our art and our artists in our Asian community to be displayed, within the city, and hopefully this is the start of something wonderful, that'll occur in the city of Jacksonville.
Cheryl Noblejas is the chair of the mayor's Asian American Advisory Board, and Diana Donovan is the executive director of the Cultural Council of Greater Jacksonville. They're both really excited about teaming up to celebrate Jacksonville's Asian community.
It really highlights the opportunity to gather here and celebrate what it means to walk in your culture, what it means to help others enjoy and come in and bring community, and then just the humanity that connects us all.
Their events planned for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month are ones they plan to have lasting impacts. Noblejas says since the rallying cries to stop Asian hate began in March.
What I have noticed is the resurgence of people wanting to show their Asian heritage. People want to talk about it more. Some of the corporate groups have formed groups. Baptist just formed an Asian group, and they really want to talk more about what are Asians feeling? What can the city do to help them?
Since the shootings in Atlanta that killed 8 people, 6 of them Asian women, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office records show 2 incidents of harassment against Asian people have been reported here in Jacksonville, and both of those incidents involved their neighbors. I'm Renata DiGregorio, live at Town Center. First Coast News on your side.
All right, Renata, thank you. And tonight at 9 p.m., First Coast News and our sister stations all across the country will present Asian and American. The program investigates anti-Asian hate crimes, where we go from here as a country, and you can watch it. First Coast News website, the app it'll stream, but also we're located on Roku and Fire TV as well.